What if I told you the rise of Therians is a direct consequence of the Industrial Revolution? You'd probably take me for a crazy person, right? But this video is exactly about that. So if you clicked on this, maybe you're interested. Welcome everyone to my channel. I'm PM Bray and I'm delighted to have you here. If you're wondering what a very recent event in TikTok trends has in common or in relation with a particular event that is very important that happened during the 18th century, bear with me. Now, let's start from the beginning, redundantly. If you live under a rock and you don't know what a Therian is, I will explain it to you. A Therian is a person who identifies emotionally or spiritually with an animal and thus practices to feel closer to this animal. Now, let's say quadrobics, which is actually being on all fours like an animal, or playing with other Therians, maybe, or with people even, but as an animal, and even characterizing themselves, or making themselves look like the animal, wearing, let's say, headbands or whatever. Now, there is a great amount of discussion about this form of expression. Some say it is a mental illness that should be treated. Some others say it's valid and, they're not doing anything wrong. Overall, most people just mock them. However, I'm not here to do that. My interest in this subculture goes way beyond the surface. But in a way, I have to admit my opinion about them certainly affects my point of view and the argument I'm about to present to you. So just so everything goes smoothly and it is clear, I will state my opinion about them. Being a Therian per se is not a disease. It's caused by difficulties in integrating themselves into society, a lack of development of the social skills, and as some people who struggle with the same things, they find shelter in an online community and adapt to what is communicated within that certain group. Do I think this is an escape from reality? Yes, and I'm sorry if this offends anyone, but that's just how I see it. I cannot think of any other way that someone would want to change their personality, can I say personality, their humanity, as drastically as wanting to be an animal and acting as one is just it says a lot about the person and how comfortable they feel in their life and within their own skin. Now, I do have to say, I do not mean any harm or hate to the aforementioned. This is just me stating my opinion, so my thesis is clear. I could have related this issue to other trends ongoing in social media. That is really easy, but that's not what this video is about. This goes way beyond within my perspective. Everyone knows that certain trends affect how people react to subcultures or how people behave in society. But I want to analyze this subculture as something, let's say, more important, perhaps. There are a million things Therians are a consequence of, everything that happened in reality, in history, has eventually brought us here. But the main thing I want to talk about, because it's really important, is a concept you might or might not be familiar with: alienation. In case you're not familiar with this concept, let me exemplify this for you. Think of an object, whatever object you like. Let's think the object that is closest to you. I'm going to choose this necklace because I just saw it. For you, it might be the device you're seeing this video. Now, how long did your device of your object take to be made? How long did it take to fabric? What's the material? What's it made out of? Can you tell me which part? Every single part, what's it made out of? Do you know every part of it? Inside and out? Most of you will not be able to answer these questions. It's not your fault. You did not make it with your own hands, did you? But you sure know who did it, right? You don't. Yeah, you probably can't name the person who made it, and maybe it wasn't even a person. This is what we call alienation. It's the alienation from people, alienation from work, blah, 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 blah. The one I want to focus on is alienation from people and objects. Why the Industrial Revolution? Why did it come from there? What's up with that? Okay, let's think. Before, we didn't have this advanced technologies, the machine. So we're talking about a massive increase in production, whereas before, everything was manual. Everything was handmade because there was no other way of making it, simply. Each product you consumed bore the marks, the signature somehow of the person who made it. No product was the same to another one. Now, if you're not creative, you may have a hard time familiarizing yourself with this. Let me put an example I think we all can relate to. You know, in kindergarten, when they used to give us a seed or maybe a plushie, maybe an animal to take care of. And we had to raise it and, care for it, clean it, whatever. This process where we have it and we form an emotional connection actually transforms the object we're seeing. This bunny, that could be whatever bunny in the world, it changes. It's now Snowball. This seed we have that is just a random seed that maybe you could lose it someday. It's precious to you. It's your seed. You take care of it. You water it every day. Human relation changes the structure of things, of objects. Now, think of an artisan who spent, let's say, 3 months making a vase. It's a very delicate vase. Do you not think you could see the artist within the vase, within the product? Do you not think he could be represented through it? Do you not think it's a part of himself? Then the coal hit us, and it hit us hard. When turned into overworked fabricants, mere vessels of a product, disposable vessels. Identity was lost. Machines won. Production was all about quantity, not quality, not intention, not purpose. And development was overshadowed by greed. I know it's hard to follow my idea, like Therians, Industrial Revolution. What do they have in common? I'm getting there. Okay, practices of the Therians are not new, are not completely original. I think most of us as internet users are even familiar to their predecessors, furries, and even in different cultures we can still see traces of it, as in totemic practices. Now, totems, for example, are structures that unite a community and they make them feel identified with this animal as a community. It's a rule. It's not a diversion from the social norm, because within this specific groups of people, that is the norm. Now, both are ways of fitting in a certain way. Nevertheless, Therians, in my opinion, are not cultural heritage, are a form of escapism. I think this does make a lot of sense comparing it to different psychological theories. If a person is not satisfied within their lives, within their reality, then they will find a form to alien themselves from it. I'm not saying Therians are worse than other groups. I think there are many ways of escapism. For example, we could see a person going on raves or parties every single day, being rampant about life, and it's just about the view of society, because some people would say, oh, okay, they just like to party, let people live their lives. But as long as it is within the norm, it's accepted. Now, when it differs, when it's different, when someone is different, then, there is a problem. It's certainly running away. But running away from what? And towards what? Towards, what's the destination? Let's say integration, potential integration to the mainstream, social acceptance, just to find a shelter where you feel accepted, even if it brings you a lot of resentment from people, a lot of hate. Animals are inherent to nature. They're a pure form of the perfect balance that exists within Earth. Balance that we have modified a lot to fit our likings. What is a big enough reason for a human to want to go back to a primitive state, just to reconnect with what is already within us? Because we are a product of nature. We cannot alien ourselves completely from it. We are always made from the same things the world is made out of. In the 20th century, it's really easy to want to divorce ourselves from the demanding modernity, to want to go back to the nature, to the balance. There's nothing wrong with that. Animals, after all, are a pure form of synergy with nature. However, the human ingenuity has led us to believe that everything we need and everything we will desire can be given to us through consumption. If we consider Therian causes noble and keeping in with nature, how far could we defend it, ignoring the capitalism that is behind it? It's a thing we have to look beyond the surface. Everything in this society, it's planned out. Everything has a meaning behind. Everything we think, everything we can think, is playing around as animals and buying cattails and ears the real way to connect with nature. How will pretending to be animals get us any closer to our source? Desire and necessity, there are direct consequences of alienation, of the process capitalism has made us go through to change, to mold our belief systems. A lack of something always needs to be filled with something else. The problem is we have this so ingrained in our thoughts. We have consumerism right here that we cannot escape that idea. We cannot think outside of that. So immediately when we have a lack, we need to fill it with something material, with something you can acquire with money. 2 clicks on Amazon can get you spiritually connected to an animal. How? We have to realize as a society that everything that capitalism accepts, it has a reason behind. For example, the people, the acceptance of different skin tones. Do you think capitalism cares about that? They just want to sell more. And if they see an opportunity to sell a wider range of foundations, of concealers, of, you know, specific makeup, specific products, curl products, whatever you can think of. If they can see a market opportunity, they will take it. Doesn't matter if they have to defy the beauty standards, because they created the beauty standards for us to consume more. And it's the same with this. If you're lacking something in your life, if you're lacking, I think this comes from a lack of connection with nature. If you're lacking a connection with nature, capitalism will accept you as long as you consume the items. You can be vegan, maybe, but you have to consume vegan stuff. You have to eat the specialized products, the fake meat, the not milk, the whatever. It only fits within the capitalism. To conclude this video, I want to say from the deepest part of my heart, please go touch some grass. Everyone, go to your nearest green area, touch it. Just be in contact with nature for 20 minutes if you want, whatever time is possible for you. Breathe and inhale the sweet chant of the millenary trees that probably are not even here. They were used for wood, whatever. Tell me what you think about this. Tell me your opinion. If you think I'm wrong, please do tell me in the comments. If you have a video suggestion, a theme I could talk about, go ahead. I promise I will make a video about it. I promise. And, you know, comment Therian if you if you made it this far. Thank you for staying with me. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this content, and if you want to see more like this, please turn on the bell. And thank you for being here. Bye bye.